everyone. This is Rex Red. We are streaming today. We have an says we have an excellent connection. Let's hope it stays that way. Yes, yes, yes. So, a little bit of polka music today just to start things off. We have some awesome stuff to do in Daz Studio. So without further ado, we will get right to it. Today I would like to I want to make a scene that is so large that it's going to be massive. And then I want to kind of do a little bit of cheating and make it so it's not massive, okay? And then so I'm not really sure exactly what I'm doing. I've been thinking about possibly doing some kind of animation, okay? So it all depends on where we get with it. So I'm going to do something really massive first, and then we will see, okay? So now I created a scene, open recent. It's called Asylum, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to redo that so you can see what I've done here. Notice how nice and clear my keyboard is now. So we have changed a few things. I'm not sure how long that's going to work. That is coming from my Samsung phone. And then my video here is coming from my Apple phone. And we've got a little bit of a kind of halo over my head. Maybe I can kind of wrestle that out a little bit. Filters. That would be filters, chroma key. Let's see what we've got. Chroma key, that doesn't work. A little bit there, and a little bit here. I think that's about as much as I dare. Oh, now I'm invisible, kind of. That didn't work. Filters. Chroma key, can't do that. What would that be? Under smoothness. Okay, I'm going to just try to get by that. That's better. Now, what we are here in Daz Studio. And I am going to look for an environment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make a very complex environment. And then I'm going to try to make my own HDMI, which is something I learned from a YouTube video. Jay from Daz Studio just had an awesome tutorial. And so I'm going to use this Mount Olympus. And environments, we have this set. So I'm going to merge this into the scene. I'm not sure that I needed to merge it. I'm not sure. Merge, I could have just double clicked because there's nothing else in the scene. And as soon as we have this in the scene, then I'm going to do some kind of funky stuff with it. So we shall see about this, how this is going to work out. Now, there it is. And now that has created, now we are in texture shaded mode. So now we're going to go into iRay, and then I'm going to duplicate this entire scene. We're going to get rid of, now that's sure there was a camera group. We're going to get rid of the camera group because I'm going to make use my own camera group. Perspective view. That is the Mount Olympus. This is all in one big giant thing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a sphere just so, and that sphere is going to go in the center of the room. Now what I'm going to do also is create a spotlight just so we have a light in the room in here. I'm not actually going to use it right now, but I just want the spotlight in here. La 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 la. Okay, what am I doing? Spotlight. We're going to look. Control 9. We're going to go into here. We're going to look through the spotlight. And let's just lift the spotlight up out of the ground. Let's point it on our sphere so it illuminates something, okay? Now I'm going to go back to the perspective view. We'll put a camera in the view, in the scene as well. Create a new camera. We're just going to throw it in. We'll copy our perspective view for now, but I'm going to move it around at some point. Okay. I'm going to add, now I'm going to take this Mount Olympus and I'm going to move it down. So this is, if I can get it where I want it, it's way up in the sky right now, and I'm going to move it down below our I'm going to move it below. Okay. Now when I take my perspective view and look around, okay, Control L, turn on a light. That works. Now I'm going to move this over so that, and I'm going to look at it directly from the top. And then move it this way, translate it Z. Okay, I think maybe this way. X, this way. No, this way. This is such a huge model, okay? Now I'm going to look at it this way, and I'm going to bring this up now. So I kind of have an idea of what I'm doing, but I'm not exactly sure. So we're going to now move this up. And then over, X, translate this way, X, so that we're lined up here. And then I'm going to put a plane in here. It's just to measure. That's going to go straight through there. So it's about up through the center of that. I don't think I have to be that precise where I'm actually measuring everything here, but we're going to put a plane in here. Okay, and that plane. And now when I look at it from the top here, let's take a look at the plane and look at it from the top. And what I'm going to do is now I'm going to move the Mount Olympus. We're going to move this. Okay, I think I'm going to make the plane a little bit larger. I'd say I have no idea what. I've never done this, but I've never made this before. I'm just kind of making it up as I go along, but I kind of have an idea of what I want to do. So I'm going to scale this so that it fits the land here, that kind of land. Then I'm going to go back to Mount Olympus, and I'm going to translate this along the Z-plane this way so that it meets up with the land. We will kind of do this. All right. So that looks like it meets up with the land at least. And it doesn't. So looks can be deceiving. So we're going to go Z again and move this up until it meets up with the land. Okay. All these people watching and all of the questions and yeah. So, all right, I'm just being sarcastic. But all right, here we go. Now down we go a little bit. All right. We're still not connected, so we're going to go this way a little more until we are connected. Oops, doink. Now I can take this land here, edit, duplicate node hierarchies, and then we're going to rotate it. This one is 180 degrees. Rotate Y 180. And then we're going to zoom out on this whole thing. Let's zoom out on both of these. There's my land there. So let's select this piece of land and move this here. Okay, and in order for this to work, we have to move it over so that it's like this. This might be difficult to get just right. And then we're going to move this in. I think it should height-wise be right. So now we're going to move down back to our camera view. And we have one of them that's correct, but this one now is not. So we move this out like this until it lines up. Okay, I'm going to actually, instead of doing this, I'm going to use my perspective view because I don't want to throw my camera off too far. Sphere. Okay, now we can zoom out a little bit. Look at it from the top down. I think, what are we doing here? Okay. What are we doing? Let's zoom out a little more, a little faster this time. We're going to try to get some okay, X is, I think, moves it this way. I'm going to just try to eye it a little bit so that we get it right. And if I turn off my plane, I should have some measurements. Here we go. And I'm not sure. Okay, let's see. The Z takes it this way. All right. That, you know what? These still, so what I'm going to do is group these together now, turn them into a group. So this is going to be land X2. And now if I move them up a little bit. We can bring them right to our plane. I think we can go a little higher with that because we're going to have maybe grass and some stuff on this so that we don't need it to stand that high. Then I'm going to take this group and duplicate it. We're going to save this. This is going to be called a asylum. .duf. And it's going to say we already have one. Would you like to replace it? Yes. Accept. All right. Now I'm going to take this piece of land and I'm going to duplicate this and rotate it 90 degrees, I think. There we go. And now we have 4 of these pieces all coming together into this courtyard here, which is kind of cool, I think, don't you? Save this. I'm surprised how quickly that's saved. And maybe it knows that all that geometry is the same. So what we do, so we now are going to kind of mess with our camera. We're going to take this sphere out and we're going to put a person in here. We're going to put Michael 9 figures. And I have in my saved files a Michael 9. I think I have 2 of them, so I'll bring 2 Michael 9s in. You know, it really doesn't matter as long. Victoria 9 male. Oh, that's not Michael, though. This is Michael. We're going to bring them in. And they should stand right about in the center. Now, I've been told that 100 is like the height to put the camera. And I am not disputing that. But I just want to see what 100 height on the camera actually does for... And I would think, I just want to measure that. And then I'll probably make my characters disappear. And I will probably put my camera right at 0 in the center of the world. And then have, we're going to try and do a spherical HDRI. And see how this works. So we are waiting for our figures to come into the scene. This is massive. Now I have 2 3090s and they are both in SLI mode. So that means we are pooling together 224 gigabyte cards. Now look how tiny they are. So we're going to put these guys in a group as well. Figures. Then I'm going to take a look at my camera. Camera, view. I know there's a hotkey for camera and all, but okay, now what is the height of my camera? Let's take a look. Y translate. Okay, what happens when we go at 100? Okay, and we go straight on. Okay, see that? I think that's a little bit low. Okay, so I'm gonna go with my camera. Back to camera. We're gonna move the camera up until they Y translate straight on. Well, there's 100 right there. That's actually not bad. 100. That's a nice number. So I'm liking that. So yeah, that's right. That's right about their level. And so what we're going to do is make sure we keep that Y translated at 100. Now the rotate has got to be 0. Y rotate would be 0 because I don't mind that. Now Z rotate is 0. Then Y translate is 100. X translate is 0. X and Y. Z translate would be 0. We want it right in the middle of this world. Up. What happened here? Oh, I'm in the middle of my guys. All right, edit undo. Don't orbit the camera. Now let's turn the guys off and see what this all looks like. Now the thing is, okay, is that I'm okay. All right, let's. Okay, this is going to do a spherical render. Okay, so I believe it's going to be outside of this because, all right, I'm not sure what I'm doing, but we're going to try. We're going to go into render settings, and we're at 10,000 by. I'm going to make this a gigantic. Okay, I'm not wondering if I'm doing something wrong here. We're going to take plenty of time to render this, so I don't need it at 10,000 just because I'm online right here. 10,000 is 10K. All right, so 8,000 would be 8K. You know, I usually don't like 8K. We're going to go at 10K. 10,000. All right, now we're going to take and click on our camera here. And I usually do that here. And this would be camera, focal length, okay, perspective. Now I know this stuff I'm not doing right here. Camera. We go into point of view, focal length. All right, I don't have a, okay, I'll mess with that later. Let's set the camera lens distortion type to cylindrical. And we have to look at this in iRay to see it. All right. Whoa. That's cylindrical, okay? Now I'm assuming that it's goes higher than this, that it just doesn't stop off in the top. But let's put an HDRI in this scene now, because we might as well go for broke here. And put as much stuff as we can to make it really cool. So I think I'm going to go with a blue sky because like a happy place kind of world. Okay, I just went by them and didn't even... Let's see what we have. I probably went by him again. Here it is. Skies of Radiance. Now, I can't move my camera and I can't see what's here really. And 1, 2, 3, and that cuts the other one directly behind me in half. Why did I see a tree there? Like there's some kind of tree here. All right, we're going to mess with the ground in our render, okay? So now we're going to go to render settings, advanced, canvases, select canvases, add a canvas. And this one is supposed to be environment lighting, I think. That's what we set it as. And medium threshold. Okay, I'm not sure if I need to change anything else. So what we're going to do is now go into the render settings. Back to the editor. Go to progressive render. We're going to go maximum samples, way up high. I'll turn this off when I'm ready to, and render quality off. And maximum time, maximum samples. When I think it's good, I'll stop it. And so I'm going to click render. And this should be a very interesting kind of test. Now, what we're doing is making an HDRI. Oh, now was I supposed to set anything? I guess that's what the lighting settings are. That's what it does. It creates a 32-bit render. This is going to give us our camera view. I don't know what this is going to give me actually for a render. No idea. Okay, it looks like it's giving me this 4 image thing. So I don't know what I'm doing at all. I don't know if any of this is going to work, and what exactly am I doing here. So, but we're going to just wait until this rectifies. All these little dots are gone. And we're at 64, so it's going pretty fast. 72, and I would probably like to let this go until it hits about 2000. But I don't know that I'll be able to. So let's just see what our render looks like. Come on. I'm hoping that it renders actually higher than where the camera was seeing, like it renders the whole sphere, because it looks like it renders 360 degrees, but what about, is it going to see the top of, is it going to render actually larger than? So it's all going to be very interesting to see how this comes out. Now this is starting to rectify and look really nice. I wish I hadn't missed Jay's live But I guess because I would like to have asked a few questions, but I suppose I could ask them on the forums. But one question, he didn't go into discussing what the option for ground, because like you have uh, infinite and then you have finite, and he showed us the finite finite environment, but he didn't tell us the difference between the finite environment and the ground finite with ground. And then he was showing us that the finite environment shows the ground, and that didn't make a lot of sense, because I thought the ground is because he had the regular finite selected and not finite with ground, I think, and so I'm not sure. I think that was what he was trying to remember to, that he wanted to talk about. Now this looks like it's done. Now this background sky looks pretty good as well. It doesn't look too bad. Another question I wanted to know was, why didn't I ever see those settings for making the ground, the sphere smaller? And I tend to think that is because those are new in 4.20 or a later version. I looked around like for days trying to find out how to make the environment sphere smaller, and couldn't find it. So I think those are new, and that's something I wish that had been that had been discussed when those were put in. So that's really interesting that those are now, that is there now, because that's an amazing thing, is being able to resize the environment sphere. So very, 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 very good. Now there's a tiny bit of, I think if I just let this go a little longer, where are we here? Let's click on this. See, we're at 464 iterations at 10,000, so it doesn't take that long. So I think I'm going to let it go a little longer, maybe at least to 1,000. So, and I think 1,000 will get rid of all of these. And I think when I go to save the PNG file, that it will, that's where it will put it. I usually have a place that I put my PNG files, but I don't want to look for the folder, which would probably be right there with it. But so I'm going to try to save it on my desktop instead, and it should put an XLR. I think it's an XLR file in a folder. Okay, we're at 560. Let's see what this looks like now. Oh, that looks really nice. And I don't see any real dots, and there's a little bit of distortion. I can see just a tiny bit of distortion, and which would go away with a 600, 1,000. At 1,000, that would all be gone. I think I'm gonna stop it here. I think there would be a lot of people on Daz that would love to have some of these scenes rendered like this. Some of these big gigantic scenes. The people that don't have large memory, so that they can just load some of these awesome scenes and use them like this in there as HDRIs. But I don't really own these scenes, so I don't know that it would be right to render them and then sell them at the Daz store, like as HDRIs. So I could sell them if I had my figures and turned them into a scene and sell them on coffee cups and stuff like that. That's the whole idea of working with buying these models, so you can use them in a commercial way. But I don't know that selling them as HDRIs would work. So we're up to 746. I think I'm going to stop this here. I'm going to save this. Would you like to cancel the render? Yes. And this should give me the ability to choose a place to save this. Now it looks like it's got JPEG, and I think that's something that got changed, because I've always saved in PNG file. And we're going to switch that back to PNG and then save this. I'll save it on my desktop. I'll just have to remember next time that I render. I'm doing this so that it doesn't take too long to do this, do this render section within the middle of this video. Saving canvases. Now, I'm not sure what's up, so I think it saved them. All right, so I'm going to have to save this in my default place. Okay, so I'll just make sure that I set this to JPEG 2. I don't know why that was set to that, so we're going to call this Asylum. Asylum save. We're just going to save it like that, and I will find it. And one reason why I'm doing this, because I could probably get by with this, with having this, all four of these in here, but I'd like to add some, some ultra scenery ground in here. And I think that might just toss things a little over the edge and make things do, and then 2 Genesis 9 figures and all of that. And it just might toss things over the edge. So let's save this now. And then let's go and look for our XLR file. And that's going to be somewhere in here. Desktop. Let's go to Daz Studio renders. Okay. And I don't see it here, so I think it might be here. Asylum canvas. There it is. All right, so we found our canvas. So now this is saved. So let's go File, New. Let's see how this worked. This is amazing. It really, really is. Now we're going to go to our environment option and load, browse, and go to here, my PNG file, here. I gotta find my PNG file. Let's see what this looks like. Did it work? I probably did something wrong. Well, draw a dome. How about we turn that on? Okay, now this is where this environment map is really bright. So we need to go 1 times, what was it, 10,000? Oh. Okay, maybe it's, I got 1 extra 0. Let's see what this looks like now. This is going to be terrible, I think. Something doesn't look right with it. I don't know what it is that I did wrong. Okay, so what we're going to try to do is take and do this finite sphere and see if we can change this so that it looks right. How? Okay, it's finite sphere with ground. Now I don't have any plane in this scene, so it's making the ground look really weird. Okay, I think maybe I'm too low here to the ground. All right, let's put a plane in here just to plane accept. And let's take a look at the plane from this perspective. And let's scale the plane out so that it fits this. Now I think this is just incredibly wrong. Whatever I've done here is just not working, but let's see about, let's take our environment options. Dome scale multiplier. Let's go 50. Let's see what happens. Let's go 10. All right, that's okay. Let's go 1,000. This is just huge. This didn't work. Let's go 200. Something I didn't do right here. I think that the geometry is just too large. It's like it went right out of the scene, and so all I'm going to see here is stairs. You know? Now I'm underneath this. I wonder if it's upside down. No, I don't think it is, but, or if it's something's wrong. Because you know what's really weird is the sky looked like it was sideways. So this is a really complicated kind of thing to do. Let's go way high. And then if we go high, then we can look up and see what's going on. Now let's look up. Should be able to look up without the ground interfering. Oh, this is terrible. What have I done? I've created a monster. All right, let's go back to infinite sphere and see what... This is just as bad. Well, at least the infinite sphere kind of looks... All right, now what Jay did was he did a 2-to-1 ratio. So let's reopen this up. Let's go to Asylum. Would you like to save changes? No, that is horrible. I'm going to go in and I'm going to delete this canvas. And it will ask me to overwrite the other image. I did a 16 by 9. I think that's the problem. I think I need to do a 2-to-1 ratio. I don't know what made me think 16 by 9 would be right. But I think what the 16 by 9 has done is squished it and contorted it. This might take a while to load. Let's see. All right. It might take a while. Say hello to everyone, Hector. Hello. Hi. That was Hector. That's my new little buddy. Yeah, Hector's come to live with us, with Sigmund and I. Sigmund is, he's sleeping right now, and Hector's here keeping me company. All right, this is loaded in the scene, but it's still loading a few things. So we're going to go into our general tab, and we're going to go width will be 2, and that will be 1. 2-to-1. Okay, and then we're going to, all right, that's 2-to-1. And why does my, all right, I guess that's the way the clouds are going to look. So that's a 2-to-1 ratio, and we're going to go 10,000 again. Well, let's just do something that we can test out. 8,000 by 4,000, of course. And now we're going to double check and make sure that our canvas is here. Right, okay, render. And let's go at it here. See how this is working. Will we get the desired results? Two to 1 ratio. Well, you know, at least I can see up this thing so much, so high. And this is going to render really quick. This is starting to look pretty nice. This looks a little better. The clouds look a little bit better. Things look a little more natural, sorta, kinda, maybe, but I'm not positive. It looks like it might work. You know, I think I did everything right, but it's hard to tell until you try to use it and see what happens. That 2-to-1 ratio might be just the magic thing that it needs to do this. And where are we at? We're at 396. I think I can cancel it here. We're going to test it rather than take a long time and let this render. We're going to test it. Now saving canvases. And I don't know how to open 2 instances of Daz Studio. I know there's a trick to it, and I just didn't want to mess up my installation trying to do it. I tried to do it once a long time ago, and it kind of messed with my head, trying to do it. So we're going to save this, and it's going to replace it. Yes, because that one doesn't work. And this is saving as a PNG now. But it doesn't take that long to start. It does take a while to reload all this if I have to do this again, but it doesn't take too long to open a fresh. There it goes. File, new. Well, I probably should have saved it because this 2-to-1 is kind of the magic bullet here. I think, I hope. Deleting objects in the scene. So far, this is all working. It's my stream here with my Samsung camera is now my finger camera instead of that. You know, the Brio is just, it just doesn't work. And I have 2 cameras. One is coming in through USB and the other is going through my Wi-Fi LAN. But it doesn't seem to be bothering my broadcast, which is weird because it's just weird that it's not my LAN. It's almost as like I have some bandwidth tacked out for the LAN that doesn't bother my upload. So I don't know. All right, here we go. We're back into here. Let's go into the environment tab. Browse. And let's go up here to my PNG file here, EXR. I guess it's an EXR file. I don't know what I said, EXL or something. I don't know. That would be an Excel file. EXR file. I'm used to the HDRI ones. The EXR ones are kind of, I think, higher quality sometimes. Now we have to turn on the dome. And then we have to go 1 times. What was that number again? 10,000? All right. Wow. Okay. Is this working? Let's look at it from the front. Okay, it kind of looks like it's working, but this looks awful high. like it's stretched up. All right, 2 to 1. Oh, okay. I'm starting to see this now. Because if we do 2, then 2 is going to squish it. So I'm thinking if I actually reverse it and I go 1 to 2, it might squish down my the castle so you can actually see it. Let's try that. Open recent asylum .duff. Would you like to save changes? No. I suppose I could have set this up so I could reload this, but I think it's easier just opening up. So I think what I'm going to do is try 1 to 2, because what I want it to do is kind of squish my geometry down, which is a camera thing. It's a camera trick. Because this looks like, okay, 2 to 1 is like it's squishing this in because it's wider. Now 1 to 1 would give me, all right, so I don't know. All right, look at this. Okay, all right, now we're at 16 by 9. All right, now that shouldn't really change. Okay, I don't know here what's happening with this. I don't know if this actually changes the way yeah, it should change the way the canvas is working as well. Now this is going to load the scene, and I'm going to try 1 to 2 and put 8,000 as the 1 as the 2. So that's the highest. Let's see if these buildings, just that should be a test to see if the buildings get squished a little. Now this should go to 1 to 2 because that's what I rendered it at. Unless it just somehow got back to 16 by 9, I don't know. 1 to 2. All right, we're going to go try this as 2 to 1. Now I see that did bring it down a little bit. Let's go 2 to 3. No. 1. All right. This is strange. Let's go 4 to 1. Now, you see, this is kind of usable. 4 to 1. Now, if I move my camera, I am screwed because I have it set to be a special thing right in the center here. And I can't angle it up because we're doing a 360. The only thing I can do is raise it up. Four to one. All right, let's try to render this at 4 to 1. I just can't move anything because I know roughly. What if I take my camera and I open the frame width to like 50? No, I don't think it was 50. $100. No, that's a lot. 36. Focal length. Okay, that's the. All right, go back to reset 65, 30, 38. Okay, this isn't going to work. Reset. Now I think there's something I've missed here. Canvas 1. What if we go 2 to 1? Okay, I'm thinking that that these objects are too close in my land. All right, that's what it is because they're just so close that they're so massive, and they need to be made smaller. So if I click on this, and what if I go Z translate? Which one is that? 2? Let's put a 2 here. I can't tell if that's the right one, so we're going to go edit, undo. Let's try this one, Z. -2. No, that didn't tell me. Edit, undo. Let's try this land here. Z 2. Nope, that didn't work. Of course it's going to be the last one. Z. All right, that moved that away, so we're going to go 3. 3. All right, and then we're going to go this one, Z 3. Now I think these ones would be X 3. Ay, ay, ay. This is a different. Okay, I think what I have to do is delete this land and take this land, and we're still at our 2 to 1. Okay, and duplicate this land. Edit, duplicate. 2, rotate 90, Y 90. Okay, now we're going to take our perspective view and peruse this way, and there it is. 90. I don't know that that's going to line up with everything correctly. The only way to tell is to take and put these two pieces of land in a group. All land. And then take a look at it from the top. Okay. Viewport. I just pulled that out. And what have I done? I've messed something up horribly. Okay. I don't dare do anything with this because I don't know if it's going to work. So we're going to go back to the camera view. Save this. Now. Our asylum. And we're going to try rendering it like this. Render. Okay, we have to go. I think I might want to delete this canvas. And asylum, is there anything that I have missed, that I'm missing here? I don't know. Now, Jay said there are some scenes that you can't do this to. And he didn't elaborate on which kinds. Oh, I don't think I finished watching the whole video. So I probably missed, I missed about half of the video. So this is the 2:1 render. Let's see what happens. We're going to follow his 2:1 render. And maybe next time it'd be important to watch the whole video. So before, because he said something that some scenes don't work like this. And you see, I don't see any sun in this. I don't see, maybe the sun is up above what's clipping out the sun. There's something, I think he was alluding to some of the complexity of this process when he talked about the infinite sky, infinite dome, and how you can use a smaller dome which might actually resize the sky to fit what you're doing. At least we can see the whole image now, which is kind of interesting. But look, it looks like my sky dome is going up and down, which is kind of weird. Okay, asylum. Why did that only... Alright, it says it's done, so it must have reset my... new. I think I saved it. I hope I saved it. Oh, because I set it to 1025, so to 625. Well, I'll let us give us an idea. I think it just went up to like 80,000 iterations in like 2 seconds. Now it goes. Let's bring in our. Well, this time it didn't give us create. All right. New environment. Accept. Create. I think if I just gone into iRay, it would have done it now. And new Tone mapper. Okay, environment options. Let's load this browse. PNG, asylum. Let's see what this looks like. And we have to turn the dome on. And go into iRay. And turn this down to minus. Okay, I think it's just that we put a 1 at the end of there, and that should do it. Okay, I got too many. Environment 1 times, what was that, 10? Okay. All right, so this isn't working. Well, I'm in the center of the world. So I think, what have we got, Hex? We're in infinite sphere. Now when we go into finite sphere, ground origin, scale multiplier 50. That hardly did anything. And if I go like 200, it's just going to make it closer. Dome radius, what does this do? Okay, that's strange. That didn't do what I thought it was going to do at all. Reset. I know what it's doing. It's making it invert and then coming back out again. Like flipping it, flipping the sphere inside itself. Scale multiplier. So this made it really, okay. Open recent. I hope I saved this. Now I see why Jay was using 2. Very smart to have 2 instances, using 2 instances of Daz. I kind of wish you could just, well, I guess you can just click on it and open another instance once you set it up to use 2 instances. So let's see. I think if I took my figures out of the other scene, it would load faster. So I'm going to delete the 2 figures for now. I can always add them later. So it would seem that I need to do something with the, like, ratio, 5:1, something like that. I'm not sure. Scale multiplier. I am really confused how Daz seems to remember the render settings, a lot of the render settings. So maybe it's because when I set the render settings, when I open and create a new project, it uses the previous render settings that I used before. But if I open an old project, it should use the render settings that I set for that project. I don't know. That's kind of confusing how that works. I think it's good the way it works if it works that way. But it's confusing. Now, all land. So I did save it. Good. So we're going to delete the figures out of here so that when I have to load this back up, it just takes a little less time. Okay. Now we're going to go back to render settings and we're going to try this 4:1. See, that did something there. What's 5:1? See, it's getting narrower. 6:1. What's 8:1? Now that doesn't seem like it would really work. But let's try 6:2. Let's try 8:1. Let's do something really strange, okay, for it. And let's go in the other direction then. So file. Okay, save this. And we're at 5,000. I'm not sure why that got changed before. Did I delete the canvas? Yes. Current frame. This is something I think I have to probably watch the rest of Jay's tutorial. But let's make a render here. Let's make a render. I'm getting tired. I don't know how much longer I can go. Say hi to everyone. Hector is a moon mon, but he's okay. Let's say hi. Hi. That's Hector. He's got very little hands. He's a little bit of a hippopotamus. Yeah. This kind of looks like something that might work. This is 6:1. This kind of looks sort of natural, but what where are we at? We're at 2,000. We can cancel this now. Yes. That did 2,000 iterations in that little bit of time. Save. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I don't know how to make Daz allow me to use to file new. Let's just try this. Now, this gave me some environment options, I think. Because I'm in Iray now. This one opened up in Iray. Environment options. Browse. Back up tier 2. Well, there it is. Asylum canvases. Now we turn this off. Dome draw dome. And set this again back to 1 times 10,000. Now what if we go and set this to, let's just do the 2:1 square or something. Okay. Okay, now this is it's still strange. It's still kind of messed up. It's all squished together. Now, let's try a finite sphere. That didn't change it much. Not like I kind of thought it might. Finite sphere with ground. Let's try that. And that just adds that really crazy bottom thing that becomes maddening infinite sphere. Let's try an infinite box. This is just not working. So I'm going to do some more studying on this and find out why I can't get this to work. Well, obviously this is a terrible render as well. It just didn't get enough iterations or something. And now I don't know that I'm actually high enough for like that 100 level. But when I look up, I should be able to see the top of this thing. But it all kind of goes into, I think I'm in the square, finite box. Let's go back to the infinite sphere. Maybe that's what Jay was alluding to, is that things far away, or it's got to be, I don't know, because he didn't use an HDRI in his also. He used the sun and sky, which just adds light. There might be a reason why, because my HDRI looks like it's stretched and twisted in a funny way. And this is kind of blurry, and I don't think that I don't think that is supposed to happen either. And I don't think that's also part of my render settings. Now we're in a square mode. Well, let's try going 16 by 9, just something like wide. By 9. 9. And so, all right, I need to do some more work on this. This is what exploration is all about. It's trial and error, and sometimes it's trial and a lot of error. Ground position mode. Let's put a sphere in the scene and see if maybe it needs an object to ground it all. Well, that's not the right object here. Let's just put a sphere in the scene. Accept. Ground visible below, matte fog, draw ground. Ground position mode is on auto. Let's just throw that on manual and see what happens. Nothing. Let's leave it on auto. Auto. Environment blur is cool. Now, environment tint. Yeah, see, my HDRI looks like it's sideways, but I think that's because it's being stretched by the camera, because this aspect ratio is very okay. Now let's go to advanced canvas, nodes, environment lighting, alpha. Yeah, that's the environment lighting, light group, specular, and I don't see any other. I don't see any other parameters that I can change other than that, so I don't think I missed anything there. Optimization. Okay. So I may have picked one of those situations where it doesn't work. That's too bad. Well, let's go back to Open Recent. Asylum, don't save this. And let's see if we can salvage something out of this. Now I'm going to save this as soon as this is loaded. This should load pretty quick because I got rid of the Genesis 9 characters. I'm going to save it as Asylum 1, and then we're going to do some work here. This is an 8:1. We're going to turn our camera back. Well, first, let's do this 16:1. Where is that? And 16:9. And then, see, this looks kind of correct here, but then we go to our camera. And I believe I had it chosen for spherical. Maybe I got something wrong with the... I think it's down here. Local dimensions. Cylindrical. Oh, that's what I did wrong. I've got cylindrical. It's supposed to be spherical. Whoa, look at that. Now we have a difference, okay? And let's go 2:1 like Jay had. All right, 2:1. Let's go 8,000. That might do it. That might make it work. And that's what I did wrong. Spherical is what we want. Wow, that was a brain twisting thing. So, spherical. There's our sun. There's our sky and everything. Let's see if this works. I don't know if I dare render this. Let's go here and delete our EXR file and hit render. Wow, just all of a sudden, uh, we're back in business again. Suddenly, it's working. I think it's going to work. That is well. Now we know how that the cylindrical camera works. Oh, look at this. So now everything's not blown out as much. And I believe once we put this on a sphere, this will be round rather than pulled like that. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Now look at this. This looks correct now. The proportion looks correct. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I am not sure why. Okay, I have to do something here. Okay. Cancel. We have to do something with the ground now. Now that I can actually see this thing, cancel. I believe I have to create another kind of ground with because this black can't go here. And so either that or I have to turn off the ground. That's what I have to do is turn off the ground. And then what is this? Why does this look like some kind of trees? Oh, it might be moss or something growing up here. I think I can fix that. Save this. Okay, so we're going to just close this because something's wrong here now. I need to go into the render settings. Environment options. Turn. Okay. Where is it? Ground off. And draw ground off. Now let's see what happens when we render it. Is that black in there or is it going to be cloudy? So we are back in business, people, here. Time for some polka songs. We are happy, 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 happy people. Now we're going to go down here and there won't be that black anymore. Let's see, can I move this? Oh, the black is still there. Maybe there's a plane here. Yes, delete that. Why is that black? Cancel. Why is this black? It shouldn't be. I think these HDRIs are cylindrical. Okay, what's down here? Let's go to texture shaded. Control 9, there we go. All right, I'm going to take and go get my camera off. Take that spherical thing off for now so that I can see what I'm doing here. Spherical, none. All right, I think that's what it's supposed to. Distortion lens. Yeah, okay. Now why is this? Okay. we go to environment options, dome and scene. Auto, ground reflectivity. Ground visible from below, off. Let's see if that works. Draw ground. I thought I turned it off, but I guess not. Let's try now to put this in iRay and see if we have 360 degrees of clouds. Come on, iRay. Anytime. There we go. Now it's got 360 degrees. But what I'd like to do is do something really funky here. Let's open up we are looking for window, panes, and we are looking for ultra scenery XT. Add resolution. Okay. Maximum altitude. Minimum altitude would be minus 100. Let's try that. Maximum altitude would be minus 25. Let's try that. Ooh. Looks like it's working. Let's go minimum altitude 150. I think that's going to be too much. Yeah, it is too much. We're going to go minimum altitude is going to be, let's think about this. 40. And this is going to be, okay, this is going to be minus 80. Now I need to lock my camera so I don't move it. Edit, object, lock for now. I think I'll have to unlock it when I go to put the, I want to look around and make sure this all looks good from every angle. Now see, that's not right. So we have to go now to our Ultra Scenery XT. And 80 is too much, so we're going to go 60. No, I think we can go a little more than that. We can go to 70. I love this Ultra Scenery XT. Took me a while to figure out how to use it, but man, isn't this awesome. This is so awesome. All right. It's very awesome. And so this is just working perfectly. It's giving us a little bit of land. Now, everything is good. I kind of like that terrain, so we're going to go with that. And then we're going to go with biome and seeds. Okay, scale. It's going to be 0.01. I think if 5 is the lowest, it lets us go to, yeah, scale. Conifer, we'll try it. Maximum altitude is going to be -25. -25 and 70. Let's go -30. Let's leave a little bit. And is there a purlin shape here? Current cameras, restrict to cameras? No. Don't restrict to cameras. And maybe we're going to blow the heck out of our scene here. Let's save this. Then I have to go back to the camera. And I have to resolution. I think the width is fine here. So now I have to go back to my camera and unlock it. Create, edit, object, unlock. All right, the camera. No, that was Ultra Scenery. Let's go back to here. Edit, object, unlock. All right, the camera is unlocked. It's still locked. Edit, object, unlock. Well, all right, I guess it is unlocked. Just wasn't showing it. Now, the only thing, the only movement is the, okay, we're still centered. So now we can go down to the bottom of this camera. Switch it back to spherical, which is very important. Don't select cylindrical. It won't work. Oh my gosh. Now we can go back to our render settings. We have a 2:1 ratio. This looks nice. And we're going to save this. This should give us some trees here. A lot of trees. And we'll see what size they are. Like about 1,000,000 trees. I don't know. Render. Oh, I've got to go back and choose a folder for our ultra scenery. XT. Oh, we have to select it. Save location, browse. Okay, it's thinking. We're going to call this ultra scenery. XT. All right, let's create a new folder. This is going to be called Asylum. I think it's spelled ASS. Asylum. I don't know. It's okay. Directory select. All right, I think I spelled that wrong. I think it's got an N on it too, but I'm not sure. Asylum. Oh, my brain is too tired to think right now. Let's go now to render. Render. Generating flow map. Okay, this should leave a few peaks that don't have trees. And the trees are the tiniest that I can make them. And this might just like look at me and say, what the heck? You want me to put 20 million trees here? It's not going to happen. So there's a possibility that my computer could just even run out of 50 gigs of 48 gigs of memory and then try to pass it off to the computer to render it. We shall see. This is a big test of 23090s. A big test. That's why, on the Daz forums, when people said, oh, I had never used more than 24 gigs for a scene, it's like, well, look, we got trees here. We got trees, but I don't see many of them. So something's wrong. Things terribly wrong. Horribly wrong. I've done something wrong with my math. Okay, so we got to cancel this and look at what we've done. What have you done? What have you done? And I think I have to delete the... Oh, it didn't create it yet. Well, it's going to try to create a canvas here. And we're going to have to delete that. Cancel. I am going to be getting into some really deep stuff. I want to learn Fluidos, and I want to learn... And I mean, this is something that I am going to do. There's some things I say, well, I'd love to do. I'd like to make hair and, sell it in the Daz store. I'd like to make my own figures. Those are things I probably will never do. But Fluidos and these physics animators, those I will do. I will learn them very inside and out. Now, why am I seeing these... TMO buildings. Oh, okay. I see. So now we have to go and look at this. I've done something wrong here. Spacing. Maximum altitude. -30. This is supposed to be right. Spacing scale. Seed 500. See, those look like they're right. Minimum altitude is 70. Minus 25, so if I go minus 30, okay, let's update maps. I think that might be what I've done wrong here. That might be the problem. This just changed the map. Yes, it did change the map. It looked like a big cracked C. And now it looks correct. So let's try this again. Save this. You have to remember to update your maps. In this terrain maps section, you always have to click it to get it to overlay your choices in map and stuff here. Your textures once you pick your save location. All right, so don't forget to do that. Now I have a terrain. I can delete this. Oh, I didn't make one. That's strange. Maybe I have to go in and set my canvas back up again. I wish better than this. Maybe I deleted it and didn't realize I was deleted it. Let's see, do we have trees now? There should be many, 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 many trees. Nope, there aren't. Something is really wrong here. It's like it's only putting them in where the camera is, and I don't think I have that set to do that. So we're going to cancel this and see what's up with the camera. Would you like to cancel this render? Yes. Now it's going to create, I think, a canvas. So this is obviously a camera view thing. So we've got a camera view. Saving canvas. Is the canvas going to show here? Well, I don't see the canvas here. So something's wrong here. Saving canvases. No, there's no canvas here, so I think I've messed that up. Oh, maybe it's when I click and save Asylum. Let's save it. Yes, then it saves the canvas. It creates the canvas and probably holds it in memory or something. When I click save here, and I'm not sure why this, it looks like it's mirroring something here. Oh, I think this is, which it looks terrible actually, but I think that is supposed to be like ivy on there. Saving canvases, so that's when it saves the canvas. Okay, now we have something going on here. Oh, there it is. No restriction. That's the current camera. Okay, now let's save this again. And these trees look a little bit small. I think we could make them a teeny bit bigger. So let's give them... Let's go down here to our biome. That's 0.5. Let's go 0.7. For the trees. Save it again. Save it again, Sam. And there it is. It's writing assets. Writing assets. Here we go. Now we're going to go further here and click render. Now we should have, and I'm going to get rid of this canvas. I think it would overwrite the canvas, but well, now we're out of the, okay, there's our canvas. Good. Let's delete that so it doesn't have to overwrite it. Just not sure what it would do. I don't know what it would do. Now, I think we should have the image that we're looking to create. Now, did I really need to do this? But the thing is I would like to animate and have a camera zoom around in this scene so you can see that there are 4 of these different, like, Olympuses. Okay, that's what they are. This is Olympus. We should have trees everywhere now. Now, there aren't that many, but they're around. Okay, they're there. And they look about the right perspective for what they're supposed to be. So it looks okay. Now, the amount of trees, they're kind of less than I thought there would be. So, but I think I'm going to go with this, okay? We're going to go with it. We're going to see if this is okay. It doesn't have to be loaded with trees. Now, I can't make the trees that much bigger down here because you can see how little the trees are here. So, and I thought this was like hanging in the air, but it's not actually. So, I'm wondering if this little sharp edge kind of bothers me. I wonder if a little bit of sub D on this plane here would actually work. But it's okay. I don't think this piece of land was meant to be made so far away. Now that I've figured out how to do this, I might be able to move it a little closer, but not that much because, well, let's see how much sky is above it. Well, that's quite a bit of sky above it, so we'll see. We can move them back to closer again if I need to. But this gives me some kind of idea, okay, what this is going to be like. Let's see, how many iterations are we at? 138. It's not going that fast, but you know what? This looks like it's done enough. So we're going to cancel this here. I don't want to take up too much rendering time here. Yes, cancel. Now it's going to compile our canvas. Where are we now? There we are, Asylum save. Yes, I would like to replace that with this finished file. Now the sky, I'm wondering if I should have picked some kind of like pink and, just really weird sky, but that's okay. This is a pretty cool sky. It's kind of like a Zeus sky. So now I did save this. It's saving the canvas now. This is the first time we're going to get to take and see if this, well, if the 2-to-1 hot number works. And file. So I did save this. So we're going to go new. We already saved them. I do believe I did. Yes, I did. I did. It always asks, even if it's saved. So I'm going to put this EXR file into our environment. And then I'm going to put a piece of land, so there's going to be a piece of land in the now I just thought of something else. Now I was thinking about like spinning a camera around, but you really can't spin a camera around. Well, you can. I could do a circle around my figures. Yeah, I could do a 360-degree and have the camera point at the figures, spin around and so you would see the sky moving around them. Yeah, that would work. Okay, environment. So that's the idea here. Environment map, browse. Is this gonna work, people? Is it? Is it? Now we've changed our map. We're going to turn the dome on. We're going to go 1 times 10,000. Whoa. Now it looks like we have something happening here. There we go. Now this looks beautiful. It really does. There's 1, 2. This is working. So we're going to call this Asylum 2. Save as scene. Look at the lighting. Asylum. No. I don't. We need Asylum 2. ASSYLUM. We're going to call this Asylum 2 HDRI. We'll call that. Except now, you see, we're way up in the sky because all our land is down below. So what we're going to do now, we're going to look at this from the front again. That's all the way around here. All the way around. Okay, we're going to give them some hilly ground. Not too hilly. I think maybe 3 or 4. Let's find ultra scenery. Ultra scenery, realistic landscape, late morning. What we want is this. Ultra scenery creator. And we're going to go like this. And then we're going to create. I think 3 is good for hills. Features. We don't want any big trees and stuff. Maybe a few. Let's see. No features. I don't want water or paths. And then, oh, maybe we could go with a road. A road. Dirt track. And then we could go up here maybe with country ford. Oh, Britain. Let's go with Britain. And then we go to build. Oh, and we're going to need 306. This is why you turn the other into build scene. Now, it makes me think that I probably should have built. See, I'm going to go back and I'm going to render my sky. See, so I have the other, and that was so smart of Jay to break these up and, have your main scene in one scene where you create your HDRI, and then where you bring the HDRI and work on another scene so you can go back and tweak that HDRI, re-render it. And so that's really smart. There was a lot. He must have been working on this last tutorial for a while, because he just had so many fresh ideas. Every second I was learning something. It was just really an amazing tutorial. So here we go. We're creating this very large, very full piece of ultra scenery. And what I'll do is I will take, and I'm going to save this as Asylum 2, and then I may create another HDRI from this one, and then load this HDRI in. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'll have the one HDRI with. Now I could have done that in the other HDRI, but to have all of those large scenes and all of that, then okay. So this is the idea of layered HDRIs, creating your HDRI with your scene and with Ultra Scenery XT, then bringing that HDRI into a new Daz project, and then laying your HDRI into that project, your ultra scenery HDRI into that project, making another HDRI from that, then creating a new scene and bringing your Genesis 9 figures into that. Because I can barely load even with a 50. My RAM and all fills right up just trying to use ultra scenery without any kind of with any camera narrowing, without having it just only go to the camera. So we are going at it, people. We are going at it. Loading Herb Robert props. I wonder if Herb Robert is a kind of, or I think that Robert is an artist who makes Daz plants, and I think this Britain was a what do you call it? Begins with a C. Collaboration between two artists. I think that's what this is. So I think Herb Robert may be Robert's herbs that he's made. Which is really cool, because if there are artists out there that make plants that do a really good job with plants, you really should enlist them if you're doing ultra scenery, creating ultra scenery vistas and forest types. And now sometimes my computer won't even load this unless I use the camera option, but with two 3090s in SLI mode pooling their data together and 96 gigs of system RAM, and I have 12 cores, this should allow me to load this in. And if I can seat this in the right place in between there, then I should be able to render this all to create another HDMI. And what I will do is load redo the HDMI. So what I'll do is I'm going to get this set up, and then I'm going to have to go and do some serious work. It's going to take a while for me to render that HDMI in the first scene, in the first asylum scene. I'm going to have to render that I'm going to render that at 10,000, maybe even 16K or something. Render it very large so it has a lot of detail. And I might also render, I might mess with the size of the buildings. I think I've got them right currently. I think I moved them back far enough, but this is going to tell me when I lay this piece of land in the center of that whole area, whether if this is going to work. I almost wonder if there should have been a crossroad instead of, so I may have to go back and re-render this and put a crossroad instead. I think a crossroad would be better in the center here than just one road going through. That would make sense. So this is really, really interesting because it enables you to take this whole, canvases have been kind of like a dream to me because I knew that somehow canvases were going to become really, really important in the whole scheme of things, of rendering and all. And now I'm seeing why. I probably should have created this ultra scenery plot of land without anything on it. So I could have just placed it and looked at it and seen like where it goes and how big it is and how it fits with everything else, all the other geometry in the scene. There's something about this finite sphere that I don't understand because when I made it smaller and all, I thought it would get smaller more radically, and it doesn't seem to. It's almost like it's still infinite in a way, and so there's something that I don't understand about that yet. This spherical render is amazing. This whole idea of using the spherical render is brilliant, 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 brilliant. Because these scenes have become so complex and there's so much to it. And if you want to put these really high quality Genesis 9 figures in the middle of everything, you've really got to be able to create these HDRIs and try to cheat as much as you can. Put as much certain things in the scene to make it seem like there is depth in front of them, in front of your characters, even if it's just a few sprigs of grass kind of coming up in front of them, to trick the eye to say, oh, this is not an HDRI. Look at the grass. It's right on the ground. It's right in front of them. But really it's all a big HDRI. So that's something to think about. Loading the clover props. This is taking a long time. I'm kind of worried that this isn't going to load. It's just too... Normally when you don't use the camera to... I mean, we're talking probably 500,000 pieces of grass here that we're loading. And I'm going to be really surprised if this works. If it does work, I'm not going to... Well, the thing is that the scene that's around it is all that's in here is the ultra scenery and an HDRI. So, and it's not that big of an HDRI actually at this point. So, and I know that I'm going to have to re-render this HDRI, this ultra scenery, because I definitely want a crossroad in the center. I don't want just one road. I want two roads, and so I'm going to have to look and find a piece of land that has a crossroad in it. And I'm quite sure there is one. Almost done. Now it's doing some more grass patches. Lots of grass patches. Wow. The thing is it's got to load. It's only got to load. These are all instances. So it's got to load a lot of geometry, but the actual textures, I think, are duplicates. And so I'm not sure exactly how all that works, but it's still many thousands of items. This is going to be very interesting to see how this comes out. I don't think there were trees in this, so this could come out like really, really well. This could come out like just perfect, and the thing is, I do have to get a crossroad though, because there are four different Olympuses, and so there's got to be a road to each one. Almost done. Building scene. Okay. Loading props. Let's see what we've got. Loading daisy props. Lots of foxgloves. This is going to be huge. This is a huge test on my computer. It's the only thing in the scene other than an HDRI is this ultra scenery with no camera limitation. So this is going to be an amazing kind of test for my 23090s in SLI with 50 gigs. Can it do it? Can we do it? Well, it's not 50 gigs, it's 48 gigs. 48 gigs. We shall see. We shall see. There goes another jump. Daisies are loading. I wonder what else there it is. It's going to say that took 16 minutes and it's still not done yet. It's not going to let me click on done until it's ready to. Let's see what we have here. I think it makes some kind of change when it's ready. No, it's still, I thought it might be ready, but it's not. It fooled me. It fooled me. Done. Come on. It takes a while. Once it's done, it's not done. Takes a little bit of time. A little bit of time. a little bit. There we go. Now it's going to take a while, I think, before I can close it as well. There. Close. All right, it's up in the air and I can't do anything about that, so I have to go into texture shaded mode. And actually, then I'm now reminded of Jay, who was going into, because you can't see the HDRI in iRay. You have to see it in not figment, what is it called? Filament mode. It's a filament of my imagination. Come on. It's still kind of... There we go. Now we're going to save it. See how long it takes to save this. 80 billion. Well, it's probably, this file is probably gigs. That wasn't too bad. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a sphere in the scene so I can get back to the center. Sphere. I just want one here. Then I'm going to click on this Ultra Scenery Terrain, and we're going to see what it looks like. Okay, well that's it. Now we're going to go to filament mode and see if it will display my HDRI. It's trying to draw it. Oh. Okay, now this is different than what I kind of thought it would be. But it's, in a way, it kind of works, I guess. I'm not sure yet. All right, this is locked up. All right, let's see what we got here. I gotta wait until it's gonna let me manipulate it. I don't think it's done writing all of the filament files. This is kind of now I think it's like an illusion that I'm trying to create. And I have to be in the center of this in order for the illusion to work. Okay, so we're going to go into texture shaded mode. And then I'm going to go select my camera. Oh, I don't have a camera in the scene. Edit. No camera in this scene. Create. New camera. Just default, I guess, is good. Let's take a look at from the camera. Okay, the sphere is down there. Now I think this might work. This particular view from here. All right, now I'm going to go back to this ultra scenery terrain. We're going to open ultra scenery back up. I might cancel it, but I'm looking for a crossroad. Even if it's a path, it will work. Did I click on it? There we go. It's loading back. Next time I go in, I'm going to turn everything off. Okay, so we're going to go to features. We're looking for a crossroad. Now that's almost a crossroad, but it's not what I want. Tell me we've got a crossroad. These are some features, fissures. That's not a crossroad. Oh no, tell me we don't have a crossroad. This sort of looks like a crossroad, but it's not, and it's got a lake in it. Okay, we got some up here as well. Oh, there is a crossroad with water. That works, and a bridge. Okay, I can use this. This gives me a crossroad. If I put this in the center, then we have a crossroad. And I don't mind the water. It gives it just another little something special. Okay, so we're gonna, are there any trees here? Okay. We're gonna turn all this off for now, so I can do this quickly and get this into the scene. River pebbles. Oh, there's even river pebbles in this one. All right, rebuild the scene. No camera. There we go. This should build quickly because it doesn't have to put anything in it except the road and maybe a bridge. So I'm going to have to bite the bullet and I might be able to cheat and get some of the rock pebbles out because I'm not going to be that close to the water. I'll be far enough away from the water. But if the camera does kind of go over the water in the animation, then I may end up... I'm hoping that I can do all of the ultra scenery in ultra scenery XT, ultra scenery, and ultra scenery creator, and also ultra scenery, and also my geometry, my environment, all in one. What would you call it? All in one HDRI. Okay, done. Close. All right, this is... Now we're in our camera mode. Let's go to perspective and click on the sphere and go here. Then I can move around. Okay, this is our crossroad here. So this is going to be the center of my scene where I'm going to put my figures. They're going to be standing in the center of the crossroad. So what I need to do... All right, this is where my camera is going to be. My camera's going to zoom around them. It's going to point at them and circle around them. I think I have to do a look at and then just move the camera around in an animation. I've kind of forgotten how to do that, but I know I can do it just by just moving it like this and all, and like this, and slowly moving it through time. I'm not sure how to make a path. I have to figure that out. I used to have paths in Bryce. I think it was Bryce. One of my programs. True Space. I'm not sure. I had paths. But you could put the path in. But I'll figure it out. Either way, I just have to try to do it and see, and I will find a way to. And it's got to be 180 degrees, 181, I think, 0 to 180, or 361. And how long of an animation this is going to be, I don't know. But it looks like this is going to be good. If I keep it low enough, then we'll see the hills here. And you'll see also, I don't know how that's going to work. Let's go to filament now. This is where we can tell. So what I've got to do, okay, see? Now this is going to work. Now I think this is, I need to raise this up a little bit and go back a little bit like this. Let's bring in Genesis 9, just so we can test things. Figures, no, saved scenes, files. This looks pretty cool. This is all this isn't in iRay mode. This is in filament mode. So where is my save files? Here it is. Now we're going to go to, I guess any of these figures would work, because it doesn't have to be those Genesis 9 ones. It could be just one of these figures as well. Let's go with Genesis 8. Any figure. I just want to see the size of them and where my camera is going to be. But this tells me that putting Ultra Scenery XT, it's too low. That Ultra Scenery XT should probably come up to about here. Okay, and not be that low. So that you can see it go out and extend out beyond here. So this is loading a Genesis 8 figure with 80 million morphs. I probably would have gotten my Genesis 9 figures in faster without so many morphs. I don't have them turned off. And I have forgotten how to use the booster. There's a way to right click and open up and tell it to load just, oh gosh, there's so much stuff to remember. All right, now they're coming in as Genesis 8 male. He's probably down under the ground. I don't even see his head, so well, maybe that's his head. Oh, he's tiny. Look how tiny he is. Wow, I didn't think you'd be that small. So we're going to be getting way in close like this and down. Okay, way down like this. Let's just remove him for now and move him out over here and see how big he's going to be. This way. He's not too low. I can move the ground down a little bit. I can't move the ground now. But, all right. I'm wondering if my ground would be better off being, okay, see, this is how we get the perspective of how big everything else has got to be. Wow, see, this, just spinning this around is going to give me my just selecting him and spinning around him. You get to see, okay, I got to select him again. Let's zoom in on him. This is going to be nice. This is going to be nice, I think. All right, so what I'm going to do once I get the ground, okay, so I have to take and create my ultra scenery terrain. Okay, that's what we have to do. We're ready to now go back to ultra scenery, create the terrain, and maybe I can save the terrain in one of my saved things. Oh, okay. And then possibly now see if I bring these towers up, I can't bring them up very much more. This is 16 by 9. Okay, so the towers are high. I don't know how I did that, but they're correct the way they are. And their perspective, their all of that. Let's see what this looks like in iRay. Now, we're not going to have any flowers or anything here. Oh, look at that. See, so I do have to bring up the sky is really nice. I picked a good sky for this. I'm going to leave this sky. All right. Now, I don't think Ultra Scenery XT is going to work. It's just going to look superfluous. Like it's just because I think this ultra scenery terrain is going to be enough. And the only thing is that I would like to render this because this looks blurry to my eyes. I would like this to be a lot sharper And so I'm going to render it at probably 16K. So I have to go back to the other thing and just set the render up. And I should probably just delete Ultra Scenery XT, because I'm not going to bring this up and have it come in. I'm just going to leave these like that. This is okay the way it is. I don't need Ultra Scenery XT. I'm glad I did it, because every time I use it, I get better at it, and I'm able to use it better. So the only thing is XT would show up here a little bit. And I think I could end up with some real bad problems, like having it come through, poke through this terrain here in places and possibly become a mess. So I'm going to get rid of XT. So this is where it would be really nice, and Jay was really smart to be talking about having multiple instances open of Daz. So because I could just zip over there and render the. Okay, so what I'm going to do, this terrain here is what I want. I want this Britain terrain, so we're going to go, let's take the Genesis 8 figure out, because he could just be enough to, let's save this. Now let's go to Ultra and find our Ultra Scenery. Here, where are ya? Where are ya, Ultra Scenery? I don't see ya. There it is. Okay, now we got to select this. Save this again. I don't know whether if I just saved it. Okay, I am going to go here, and we're going to go to this build. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Close. We got to select that. Now, if I made this flat, I could possibly do something with. No, because I don't want it to come up here. It's going to chop all of this other stuff off here. I like this. I'm going to leave it like this. We're going to just take Ultra Scenery XT out of the equation. So we're going to turn all this back on now. And I'm going to bore you with a 15-minute render here. Of me rendering with all of these pieces in. I think possibly I'm going to end this video here, and I'll come back possibly once I have rendered my HDRI. So I'm going to render this background really, really nice, and I'm going to add this Ultra Scenery and rebuild this scene. So I make sure I have everything selected and rebuild. So I will see you again, maybe in about a half an hour, and I will come live again, and maybe at some point I'll get some new people in here if I start another video. Thank you for watching. Take care, and Magic Fingers here. I will see you again in the next video. Please like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and if you do click the bell for notifications, you will get notifications of when I go live again. So thank you for watching, and I will be back. This is Rex Red saying so long for now, and this is Daz TV. Look how quickly it's going through it this time. I think it's going to slow down. So, all right, there again. Take care. I will